Hi everyone, I'm Pam Moody, and this is my first video for Park Bench Oak Ridge. And I just wanted to say that today I'm interviewing Sheri, and she's the owner of Sassy Pants Sweets Treats. She's located at 981 Oak Ridge Turnpike, and it's the Security Square. I think it's number 5 is the light, if you're coming, I think, east. It's by it's traffic light number 5. So thank you very much, Sheri, for being my first interview. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. And I'm so glad that you are here with me today.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I wanted to find out what made you decide to open a bakery.
So it was actually never a goal of mine to open a bakery. That was never, this is what I want to be when I grow up. Uh-huh. It was, I was at a point in my life where I had just had my daughter. She was an itty bitty micro preemie, so she was in the NICU for over 2 months. She was 1 pound 15 ounces when she was born. So when she came home at 5 pounds, she was still considered medically fragile. And so I stopped teaching to be home with her because I didn't want to bring all of the germs from school back home to her.
Right.
And it took about 6 months of not having that extra income to realize, I kind of relied on that income. Okay. So it was right around Valentine's Day, and I started racking my brain of what can I do to contribute to the household that's not going to cost a lot of money up front. And I remember my mom teaching me how to make chocolate and how to make candy. And so for Valentine's Day, I started very simple with chocolate-covered pretzels and chocolate-covered strawberries and all kinds of chocolate-covered goodies. And my whole goal was to just pay the car payment. That's all I wanted to do, was make enough money to pay the car payment. And we ended up making enough money to do 3 car payments that month. And so it got my brain started rolling on, okay, well, if this was Thanksgiving, what will Easter look like? And so we tried Easter, and then that went well. And so what does Mother's Day look like? And so I did Mother's Day, and then it just kind of slowly snowballed, where about a year later we were opening up a storefront.
Now, I understand that this is not the first store, this storefront here.
Right.
So you started in the Grove Center.
We did. We started in the historic Grove Center, directly beside the old Grove Theater. And it was a great little starter location for us. The expenses were pretty cheap, but we struggled with not a lot of foot traffic there.
Right.
Unless people were looking for us or going to one of the other stores, they didn't know we were there.
Right.
And up until we moved to this location about 2 years later, people were still saying, "Oh, it's so great for Oak Ridge to finally have a bakery." And it was like, well, we've been here for 2 years. And it was just, people didn't know we were hidden away.
Right.
We were kind of like this hidden gem in Grove Center.
Yes.
And so I'm glad to know that we're in a much better location where people can see us from the road.
Right.
People travel the turnpike all the time. And so every day we're finding more customers saying, "Hey, I was just driving by and I saw you." And that's all I wanted from the very beginning.
Right.
Was for people to know we were here.
And if you haven't already, pull out your phone, go to Facebook, search for Sassy Pants Sweets Treats, like and follow Sheri. She's amazing. She really is. If you have not been there, you need to, and you need to come in here and see her and buy some sweets and treats. This place is amazing. So I think we kind of already covered a little bit about what motivates you. What has surprised you the most in being in business?
I've always had an entrepreneurial sense about myself. I've tried different multi-level marketing companies and things like that. So I've always loved the aspect of selling things. But what I didn't realize was this was supposed to be a hobby for me. This was never supposed to be as big as what it is. And I'm actually currently in culinary school to be a pastry chef. And so I think what surprised me the most was the fact that I actually have a talent for this. And I never thought that would be my thing, because you give me a piece of paper and a pencil and I can draw you a stick figure.
Right.
But if you put a pastry bag in my hand, I can do things on cakes that people won't even consider doing in buttercream. So I learned that about myself, that yes, I am artistic, I just have a different medium.
Right. It's like a passion of yours too. I kind of feel like there's a
it's
passion
becoming
here
one.
with chocolate and all of the goodies that are going on in here.
I didn't think that it would be a passion, but it has been becoming a passion.
That's wonderful.
And so as I'm learning more and I'm learning the science behind baking and the the results of like, oh, if I only do this, I get a totally different result. And I'm learning that in culinary school. And so I'm always a teacher, so I'm always learning too. And I think that as I'm learning more about the dessert field, it's making me want to learn even more. And so I'm excited to kind of see how this all unfolds, and I can add to my menu and bring more items to the Oak Ridge area.
Oh, that's wonderful. I really love it. And I think it's really important to shop local. If you're here in Oak Ridge, shop local. Come here. Don't you find that that's one of the most important things I find?
Right. And one of the things that people need to understand too that, and I think this is one of the biggest hurdles that I found is we are a specialty bakery. We are not a mass-produced, come out of a factory and we just put some icing on it. So compared to a grocery store, yes, we are a little more expensive, but you also know that your cake is being baked fresh the night before and it's being decorated the morning that you're getting it. There's very little chance that your cake is going to be more than a day old.
Right.
So the freshness factor you don't get from a grocery store just because they don't have the ability to do that on such a big scale. So shopping local and shopping small means you're also going to get a quality difference. And a lot of people don't realize that when you do shop small.
That's wonderful. If I wanted to order something special, how much time should I give you? If I know I'm having a party like in a week or two.
Sure. Typically we ask for a minimum of a week. If you know in advance that your wedding or your event is going to be 3 weeks ahead of time, the more notice you can give us, the better.
Okay.
We do tend to book up about 2 weeks in advance. Weddings are a mandatory 30-day notice. Just because wedding cakes, especially the tiered cakes, involve a lot more planning than just putting a cake together. We actually offer that delivery service. We actually put it together on site. We put all the finishing touches on it. If something happens to it, we'll make repairs to it. So there are a lot of factors that go into something extravagant like a wedding cake.
Yes.
For sure.
All right. So your hours of business, I know you're closed on Sunday and Monday.
Yes.
Tuesday, 10 o'clock?
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we're open from 10 to 6. Friday mornings, we're open from 8 to 6. That way we can have breakfast for the weekends. And then Saturdays kind of vary a little bit based on the farmer's market schedule.
Okay.
But we are scheduled to be open from 8 to 12.
Wonderful. So Fridays have become a big deal around here, I
Yes.
understand.
Fridays are the biggest days to get fresh bread. That's the biggest days to find the biggest variety of our cupcakes and our sweets. But then it's also one of our biggest pickup days. So a lot of people will pick up their birthday cakes and specialty goodies on Fridays. So this is a pretty happening place on the weekends.
I love it. I love it. Okay, I think we've covered everything, and I just thank you so much, Sheri. I
Absolutely.
really appreciate you doing this. This is my first video. I'm so excited to start this park bench, Oak Ridge. I'm going to start bringing you a lot more things around here in Oak Ridge. I want you to come visit Sheri, come and buy, come Friday morning, have breakfast. Let's enjoy this place and keep Oak Ridge. Thank you. All right, bye.